Hey guys, in this video, I want to share with you something that has been on the minds of a lot of my clients and friends, and it's something that I've been actually going through since 2016, and that is minimalism. Most people have a certain idea of what minimalism is. Maybe for you, you think about, I think there was a movie about it called Minimalism, and where these two guys go out and they, sell everything they have and they just drive around, I think in this truck, and they, travel the world, right? I kind of forgot the movie at this point, but the reality is a lot of people have like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna live with nothing, right? And that's actually not the case. The way I look at minimalism is you can actually have this feeling of having more time, more clarity than having all this stuff. This was not easy for me in 2016, but I want to take you back many years ago to how it all started. And then I want to share with you my list, the 100 things that I own. And let me first take you back to how it all got started. I love music. I love music so much. I'm always listening to new music, all different types and kinds. And I feel like over the years that my music has changed depending on maybe either my age or situation and all that kind of stuff. So one of the things that I was doing years ago was I was always buying, do you guys remember CDs? Literally, I was buying a CD probably 2 or 3 times a month from all different kinds of artists, all different types of genres. And what I would do is I'd buy a few CDs a month. Now, at that time, these CDs would cost anywhere between, on the low end, $10 to as high as $30. I don't know if you remember this, but I'm probably dating myself, but usually some CDs would be usually $23.99 or $24.99. And if you got it on sale, you got it at $19.99, right? And at that time, that was like a great deal, and the artists made most of the money. Well, as time went by, Napster came out, right? And torrents, music file sharing became more prevalent because of the internet. And a lot of people were moving these files back and forth and not buying CDs so much. And this was like the first disruption in the music business. Well, for me, I really cared about the artists, and I really care about all artists and what they time and the effort they put into their work, and they should get paid for it. So I didn't take that route, even though I explored it and researched it. I didn't take that route. I decided to go to the first music streaming platform, which was called Rhapsody.com, and I believe they no longer do this. And I was literally paying $15 a month for music, and people would say to me like, "Why are you doing that? Just you're renting music." And I'm like, yeah, I can listen to all these albums. And by the way, there was not a library of music like there is today with like Apple or Spotify having 60 million songs. I mean, at the time, it was not as many albums that were out there. Probably the most Billboard or the top, 100, artists out there that had music on this platform. So it was a growing album just like it is today. So what I decided to do was I decided to get a Creative Zen, which is an MP3 player. This is before the iPod, okay? And a Creative Zen, and it would connect to my Rhapsody account, and that's what I used to play my music. And it was all rented music, okay? That was the first experience. So what I decided to do was I decided to sell my CDs. That was the first time of me just going digital. That's what I call this going digital lifestyle. And I started just with the CDs many years ago. And then as time went by, I started really liking that. So I changed from CDs to MP3s, and then I changed DVDs to renting, streaming services. I actually switched to Netflix on the DVD. I don't know if you guys remember this, but Netflix had the DVD in the mail service. And I started, when that came out, when Netflix came out, I started selling off my DVDs and started using Netflix, and people were like, "Are you crazy?" But I just saw it as the future. Now look at today, we have Netflix, so and many other services. So one of the other things that I decided to do, I think it was in 2015, maybe 2016, I saw this video of a Japanese man that owned less than 150 things. Now, when I watched this video, and I'll actually post a link in the description, when I watched this video, this man literally only owned 150 things. And granted, he was single. He lived in Japan, and he only had 150 items, including like he would include his plates, his cups, his shirts, his items, maybe his laptop or whatever he had. He would count everything, and he lived only with 150 things. So when I saw that, I was like, whoa, that's extreme. But yet I was like, man, I wonder what that feels like. Now, when I saw this video, I was already married, and I was, or actually already had my first kid, but I knew the concept. I knew it, and I knew what it felt like because of previous experiences that I had. At that time in my life, I had 2 self-storage units, 2 that were just sitting there with a bunch of stuff. And I said, you know what? I really want to do something, and I really want to pursue this even more. So what I decided to do was I created my own list of items. And literally what I did was I listed all my items, every single thing I owned. And that list ran me up about 400. It was over 400 items. And I said, oh my gosh, this is just way too much. Way too much. So I decided to reduce that list. And one of the things I took out of the list was clothes. I said, you know what? I'm going to change my wardrobe. I'm going to do different things. So one of the first things I decided to do was I sold all my suits. I used to wear suits every day. And I decided to make a wardrobe change. And then I started creating a new list of things that I owned under 150 things, not including clothes. And that just seemed more realistic for me. Again, this is my list. And if you want to do this too, then make it customizable for you. And I'm going to show you my list and the top actually 100 things that I own. I'm going to show you my list. We're going to go through it together. But one thing I want to let you know that you can make this customizable for you. So let's dive in, and I'm going to show you exactly what's on my 100 things right now, not including clothes. I just want to make that clear. I did not include my clothes. So starting from the top, first thing I want to show you is notice how it says created February 9th, 2017. Okay, and I just updated this the other day. Now, you notice that date. I don't know where, oh, there it is. Okay. I was like, where did it go? 2017 is when I created this list. Remember I told you back in 2015, I saw the video, and then in 2015, I started like reducing everything I own. And then I got serious about this in 2017. So I said, you know what? I'm going to start making this list. So the first thing, starting from the top, is scriptures. This is basically, from a faith perspective, Holy Scriptures. I have a physical book of that, and it's actually right now it's currently in storage in Uganda, but I have a physical book of Holy Scriptures. Next thing I own is my passport. Okay, so currently I have one United States passport. Next, I have my Portuguese ID. Now that actually have some of this stuff I have literally in front of me, so I can show you. I'm not going to flash my ID here, but I have the card right here. And then I have a United States ID, which I do not have on me. Okay, so I have that also. Next is my cards. Now, these are my, which I don't have these on me. So these are my Delta Airlines Reserve, which I do have that in my digital wallet, which I'm getting to that point. So you can see here, I have my digital reserve card. The next one, I have my Platinum American Express. That's here also. And then the JW Marriott. For some reason, that one, I think they switched it recently because now it's called Bonvoy. They updated that, so I think that's the new name now. And then I have my Apple Card, which is right here as well, which has a 0 balance. This is great. so I have that. And then I have my Credit Agricole card, which is right here. Okay, that's this card right here. Now this is in my physical wallet, okay? And by the way, all those other cards, I do have them. I just don't carry them in my wallet. I'll get to my wallet here in just a second. Johnson & Murphy black shoes. So I do have a pair of black shoes that I keep. These are somewhere in storage. I don't know exactly where they are at the moment, but they're either in Uganda or the United States. And I use this for when I travel and speak around the country, or if I'm going to some formal wedding or something like that, I have them if I need them. A black Nike sneaker, I'm currently wearing those right now. Then I have a red Nike sneaker and then a blue Nike sneaker, which I'm not currently using. So I have those. Next, I have a Nike bag, which is at my office. I thought I had it here. And then I have Nike sandals, which are at home. And then I actually just bought some new sandals though. So I call these my beach sandals. I'm gonna put this in. I bought these last week. Oops, I'm spelling on sandal. Look at me, I don't know how to spell sandals. Yeah, there you go. You guys are probably going to pick up a bunch of misspellings, by the way. I'm not a great speller. So the next thing is 1 Million Cologne. So I actually love the brand. Was it Paco Rabanne? Love that cologne. Been using it for years, so I have one of those. I actually got the 200 milliliter because I just constantly use that one. Then I have one of my coaches, mentors from back in the day, Raymond Aaron. I have his watch. That is actually in Uganda right now. Okay, so the Massimo Dutti card holder. This is the Massimo Dutti card holder. It's a billfold and also a card holder. So that's this right here. My Apple 5 watch, which is right here. And then I have these bands. I have a Nike band that's red. I have a Nike, I have a band that's black. I have a band that's black and pink. And I have a band that's white. I have that. I have an iPhone X. Actually, I gave this away. So I do not have this anymore. And I don't have the red case that goes with it. So I can take that out. iPhone 11 Pro is right here. Okay, next is the iPad Pro, which I have right here. I have the iPad Pro right here. I have the iPad Pro case. That's another item. And the Apple II pencil. That's another item. Okay, got that. Then I have the Apple AirPods, okay, Pro. By the way, these are fantastic. I had 2 pairs of the previous generation. I sold them since then, and I only have 1 pair of the Apple AirPods Pro, and these are so amazing. They last longer in battery life, and they also, the noise cancellation is incredible. It's literally like magic, so it's amazing. Next is the MacBook Pro, which is literally right here in front of me, which is also with the red case that I have on top of it. It's a red case as a covering. I also have the travel bag, which is at the office. I have an Apple TV at home. Apple HomePod. Now this HomePod is actually on its way to me. It'll be arriving July 7th. So that's on its way to me. And then I also have a Mac Mini, which is actually on its way to me also July 7th. Apple wireless keyboard. So that wireless keyboard is literally right here, along with the trackpad, which is right here. So I got those 2 going on. I wish they would make this in the dark gray rather than the silver, but they don't have the smaller version. They have the longer version, but they don't have the smaller version. So I have that one. Apple wireless. Okay, now Anker power banks. Let me tell you something, guys. This is actually, I wish I had one in front of me to show you right now. This is really powerful stuff. But you can go to Amazon, and I'll actually post this link right in the description below. This Anker power bank is truly phenomenal. It's like a rectangular power bank. It takes you, but let me tell you, it's a 2 USB. It's really powerful, works really well, and I absolutely love it. I have 2 of them, and I even buy them for my friends and family in Uganda and in the United States. I just bought my friend one in the US, and he's gonna love it. They're really great, so I highly recommend them. Anker wireless flat charger, so I have that. That's at home. Anker wireless charger stand up. Now this is actually coming in the mail July 7th. Okay, I'll get to that later. I want to share something with you a little bit later. Rode external microphone, that is at my office. This DJ Osmo gimbal, it's a gimbal for my mobile phone. That is at the office. Philips monitor. Okay, now I don't know why that's in there twice, because it's actually put down here. I'll get to that in just a second. So then I have, okay, next is the Logitech 920C. That is actually right here. I have that right here. And then the Logitech Stream Cam is what I'm using right now, so you know that. Then a Shure Lav mic. I actually have 2 of these. They're in my bag or at my office, I think. So I have two Lav mics by Shure. Those are really great. I also have the Shure mic MV5, which is this bad boy right here. And then I have 2 Philips monitors, okay? And that's actually what I am looking at right now. So I have 2 of these. There's one here and one at the office. So I got that going on. Now a Mont Blanc, or Mont Blanc, it's actually called Mont Blanc. I actually have a Mont Blanc leather wallet, but that's currently at home. I have the cards of like the Amex cards and all that. Those really stay in there. The Apple card, that stays in there. And I literally just use it when I'm traveling. So I have that going on. And then I have a Mont Blanc pen. Okay. And then I have this Mont Blanc pen, which is right here. And that mostly just stays in my bag. It's the only pen I own. It's pretty much the only pen I need. And then I have a Tumi backpack that's at home, great for when we travel. Tumi cable case that's in the backpack. Tumi messenger, that's actually this bag right here. This is the Tumi messenger. I actually did a video a little bit more about this bag. You check the link in the description and it goes into detail about this messenger bag. I also have a Tumi luggage bag, which is at home. And then I have a Tumi Arrive iPad bag, which is actually arriving July 7th. So that's on its way. Also, I have an Africell router that I own. This is basically my Wi-Fi when I'm in Uganda. So I have that's in Uganda. I also have an expandable tripod in Uganda. I have some lip balm that's in my backpack for when them lips get chapped. Then I also have a travel pillow. I have a gray Delsey luggage. I also have a blue Delsey luggage. Really like that and Tumi. Those are pretty much my two go-to luggage brands. I have a silver manicure kit to keep the nails clean. And then deodorant. We all need deodorant, don't we? Yes, I own some deodorant. Then I have a Tony Robbins journal, which is something I picked up from the first Tony Robbins event I ever went to. And I keep that journal in Uganda, and it's something I cherish and I absolutely love. So it's actually a physical journal, so I don't want to get rid of that just yet. Then I have gray glasses, which I'm currently wearing. Sony Bluetooth speaker, which is currently at home right now, which is going to be replaced by the Apple HomePod. Diamond ring, currently wearing it. Diamond bracelet, don't have it on me, but it's currently in storage, along with my diamond watch, currently in storage as well. So don't have those. 3D glasses, those are in Uganda. I love movies, I love the cinema, so I have a set of 3D glasses there. I also have 3 books that I keep, physical books, because I moved all my physical books. I either sold them, donate them, or gave them away, and I did a video about that. Link will be in the description. And these 3 books that I still have is 1, The Millionaire's Notebook, Think and Grow Rich, and Rich Dad Poor Dad. And the reason why I keep Rich Dad Poor Dad is because it's autographed by Robert Kiyosaki when I used to work for the organization. I got his autograph during that time. And Think and Grow Rich has always been a classic for me, very important and very powerful book, so I keep that one also. I also have my personal journal that when I was being coached by Jim Rohn and a few of my other coaches like Dave Lindahl and whatnot, I actually still have that journal. And when I first started my consulting company, when I first hit $1 million in my real estate business, I have that journal, physical journal, and that I keep in a safe keep, and I haven't gotten rid of that yet. I have a pocket knife that my dad gave me. I have a beard buzzer to keep this thing maintained. I have a pack of batteries in my backpack because you never know when you need some juice. I also have wet wipes. I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm OCD about cleanliness in my hands. I wash my hands constantly. I have wet wipes to literally wipe down all my devices pretty much on a regular basis. I wipe down my desk and then I wipe my devices down pretty much on a daily basis. So I have to have those with me. And they're really pretty much for technology. It's not like I'm walking around wet wipes for myself. I like to wash my hands. I have a black belt. I have 2 black belts. It's funny, when I sent this list to my friend the other day, because we were just talking about this, he thought I was like in karate black belt, but no. These are 2 black belts that I have for my pants. And actually, I don't have these around me. Those are actually both in Uganda for when I'm more doing speaking training. I'm more business casual. Then, got a toothbrush, gotta have that. Toothpaste. Jolie tripod. Oh, it's right here. Jolie tripod right here. This is for the mobile version, goes horizontal, vertical, and expands. This is for your phone. Love this thing. I picked that up in Madrid, Spain. SanDisk 500 gigabyte flash drive, which is at my office. I don't have that with me, but I have one of those. Okay, next a podcast mic arm, which I don't have here. It's at my other office, and I have one in Uganda as well. So I have 2 of those right now, which I'm eventually gonna get rid of one. And then I have a mic pop filter, which is for the podcast and for the microphone. And then I also have some business cards, not on me, but I do have some business cards when I'm in Uganda. I think I only have like 5 left. It's kind of cultural to have a business card there, but in Portugal, the United States, I do not carry business cards. I have a dust cleaning cloth right here. Gotta have this because like I said, I like to keep my devices clean, screens shiny and all that stuff. So I'm like really OCD about that kind of stuff. And then I have an Angelina Jolie poster. That Angelina Jolie poster is basically a cardboard cutout. Maybe I could change the name of that. Cardboard cutout, and it's, if you guys are into Tomb Raider, I was growing up. And Angelina Jolie was like a big inspiration for me as a kid, because I always found that she always like did what she loved and yet gave back to charity. She always found some way to give back, and I really admire that, and that's something I apply in my own life. So I still have that Tomb Raider poster. And then these two items I'm a little bit torn up about, right? I wasn't too sure, like, how do I list all this stuff? So let's talk about hockey equipment. If you don't know this already, but I grew up playing ice hockey. I absolutely love it. It's my favorite sport, and I watch it on my devices when I can. I really like ice hockey. Still a big fan of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Go Pens. And the hockey equipment is basically all in one bag, and it's actually over in Massachusetts. I don't know if I'm ever going to get back to using it at this point in my life, because here in Portugal, there is no ice skating rinks on this island. And also in Uganda, there is no ice skating rinks. So I don't know, it might be something that's on its way out, something I need to make a decision on. It is a little bit near and dear to my heart because it's been with me my whole life. Well, not the same pieces of hockey equipment, that'd be gross. But, hockey equipment, the last time I played was probably, I think, 5 years ago in Charlotte, when I used to live in Charlotte, North Carolina. I went back there for a year and I played a little bit. So yeah, there's that. Now my hockey memorabilia, which is mainly Jaromir Jagr stuff, if you're Jagr fans, I have a bunch of this stuff. So here's the thing where I've been a bit torn on, is do I list out every single piece that I own? That would be the right thing to do, right? And that's something I would have to get into to actually add it to this list. Currently, I literally have it all in a box, and it's just everything is wrapped up and packaged well, and it's all sealed and sitting there. And the reality is I need to do something with it at some point. Either I need to open it up and start counting items and add it to my list, or I just keep it all in that box and say, okay, here is my box of hockey memorabilia. Does that make sense? So that is basically where I'm at with that. Now, I know you're probably looking at this list and saying, Nathan, wow, okay, you only own 94 items. Well, here's the thing. There may be one or two things that, pop up and I'm like, oh, I forgot to add that to my list. But I want to let you guys know, I've been editing this list since 2017, as I showed you before. So pretty much everything is on this list. As a matter of fact, there are things that are coming off this list. I'll show you right here. This as soon as my Mac Mini comes in the mail, as soon as I get it in July 7th, this MacBook Pro, the one I'm currently using, the red case, the travel bag, and the Tumi Messenger bag right here, I'm giving all those away. So I'm not gonna own those anymore. So that's like 5 items that go off the list. Now you might be thinking, Nathan, I don't see any furniture or on your list. I don't see my coat rack stand. And by the way, if you're wondering, this is a short-term rental, so this is businessly owned, right? So you're looking at, the couch behind me and all that stuff and the chairs. You're like, Nathan, don't you own that? Isn't that your furniture for your business? Or how about the things you own in your home? What about that stuff, right? What about the furniture you have in Uganda, right? Those kinds of things, right? You're probably thinking that. Well, the reality is all the furniture in my life that I sit and use is not mine. It's not. It's actually my family's. So the way I see it is if I buy that, it's for my family. And sometimes I buy furniture as a business. So for example, all this furniture in here in the short-term rental is business expense. That's really what it is. I don't personally own it. So for example, the way I look at this list is if I was to die and I have my personal items, right? Well, when I die, exactly, not if, but when I die, these are the items that people would have to okay, what are we gonna do with this, right? Because everything else is, property driven. It's stuff people would use, whether it's housing goods, silverware, cups, dishes. To me, that stuff is family use. So it's not something I personally own. So if you were to say, or if let's just pretend that I was just to get up and move and relocate, right? Next week, I'm literally only taking these 100 things. I'm not taking with me furniture, cups and dishes and all that other stuff. Does that make sense? Because the way I see that stuff is you can pick that up at another location. And again, that is to serve my family. So I hope that makes sense. That's how I view this. These are the 100 items that I personally own, that I own myself. That if you were to say, Nathan, show me everything you got, and I would literally show you these items because this is what I personally own. Again, this is not including clothes. So if you're wondering, like a hat, any apparel, hat, shoes, socks, shirts, pants, all that kind of stuff, this is not including that. One of the things I have done over the years though, I have reduced my wardrobe by 50%. I used to have I have about 12 suits, I believe it was. Yeah, over 10 suits. And then I had a bunch of ties. I literally owned 50-ish ties, about 50 ties. I gave half of those to my dad. I gave about 20 of those to my dad. I gave another 20 to my family in Uganda. And I gave another, I want to say 20. I probably have these numbers wrong. It was probably 10 actually. I gave about 10 ties away to people in my church, to men in my church. I think it was like 10, maybe 10 to my family, and I gave like 20 to my dad. So I literally reduced, I only have about, I think 6 or 7 ties. That's it, that's all I have now. And then I used to have about 10 caps, I'm down to 5. And then sweatshirts and all that kind of stuff I've really reduced. But this is my list, not including clothes. I wanted to have a list of like physical items that I own. And guys, one thing that I really am like aggressive about is I look at this list every once in a while and I say, how can I get this smaller? I really do ask myself that. And I'm glad like in the near future, I'm able to reduce like the laptop and some 5 items that I just showed you, all to reduce down to a Mac Mini. I'm really excited about that. There are some other items that I'm thinking about. I'm like, do I really need this? Can I get rid of it? Different things like that. Like this Rode external microphone is something that I've owned, but I haven't really used. And so I start thinking to myself like, am I gonna use this? And actually, let me share with you some tips that I just shared with a friend of mine that can really help you. If this video inspires you, like the Japanese man who lives with less than 150 things inspired me, if this video inspires you to reduce what you have, let me share with you some questions that I use for myself that you can use to help you reduce what you own. And it really comes down just to a few questions like this. Have I touched this item in the past 6 months? Have I touched this item in the past month? What value is this item bringing to me right now? Am I gonna use this item in the next month? Am I gonna use this item in the next few weeks? Why am I holding on to this item? Will I really ever use this item? Those are some basic questions that you can use to really reflect on your items. And guys, let me tell you something. I asked those questions multiple times, even for the same item. So I would do that as an example for this wallet. I would say, am I really using this? Am I gonna use it in the next 6 months? Is it bringing value to me? And I would ask that even with an item that I maybe use on a daily basis. This is just something to double check. I'll give you an example. I mentioned this earlier about the Logitech 920C camera, but I'm also streaming from the Stream Cam. So I look at this camera and I say, is this bringing value to me? Am I gonna touch it in the next few months? Am I gonna be using it? And if I'm not, if my answers are no, then I sell it and I sell the item. That's my little exit. Now, I wanna tell you something about sentimental items, okay? Sentimental items are a little bit harder. And I want to share some tips with you that can really help. I'll give you some examples. And I'll leave also these links to these services in the description below. One of the things that I did for physical pictures, you know, remember those 3x5s or 5x8 photocopy pictures that you'd have printed out, you know, 24 exposures or whatever? Yeah, so I used to have a bunch of those. And what I decided to do back in 2016 is I sent all those photos off to a printing company, okay? And they do printing, they do restoration, they do duplication, and they take your prints from physical to digital. And the name of that company is called Southtree. Link will be in the description. And what I did was I sent them a whole box of photos. I put the photos in dates and names. So I just kind of labeled them and then I put a date on it. And then what they would do when they got it, they would separate each file folder in the photos. They would organize it by an album based on the title I gave it. So if it said 16th birthday, first property bought, whatever it was, they would label that in that item. Then they would photo scan them all. They would email me the file folder digitally. And if I approved it, then I could tell them either to ship the photos back or shred them. And guess what I told them to do? Shred them, because I didn't want them back. So that's what I did. I did the same thing with audio cassettes. Remember the audio cassettes, VHS tapes? I had everything digitalized. Now, one of the most important things that I did was with my notebooks, my literal legal pads, my yellow pads, my binders of notes from seminars, countless seminars that I went to over the years. I literally had like 30 plus binders and notebooks all over the place, multiple seminars, sometimes notes in one. And what I did was I cut it in half. I really looked at what I had and I said, okay, I don't need this one, got rid of that one, got rid of that one. And I narrowed it down to 16, okay? Narrowed it down to 16. Then I took those 16 and I sent it to a scanning company. And what they did is they professionally scan all the documents really quickly and they put it in a PDF folder, okay, a PDF file, and then they can separate each file based on the notebook. So I literally had 16 different PDF files with each of the notebooks. Every PDF file represented a notebook. And all I did was title the notebook and the file when they sent it to me. So they would label it, one about real estate, one about Jim Rohn's seminar, Brian Tracy, whatever it was. They labeled it that way. So that's another thing I did to help reduce my life and also to go digital. That's what I like to call this, to go digital. Now, I've done a bunch of other videos about this on YouTube, so you can check it out on the channel. Also, if you like this video or it was helpful to you in some way, maybe inspirational, let me know by giving a like, or actually even better, leave a comment below, and I'd love to share I'd love to know if you've done this or are thinking about it, and I'd like to tell you and encourage you to do it, because it is so awesome to have this experience. Remember, I was the guy who had a bunch of stuff. I was like a collector. I got all the way up to the point where I had 2 self-storage units, paying $100 a month each in 2 different states. I had all this stuff, and I was actually proud of it for some reason. But if you were to ask me, Nathan, how many times do you go to your self-storage unit? I'd probably be like, no, almost like once a year. And it was just waste and I always thought I was gonna need it for some day. And the reality is, I never really did get around to it. So that's my story. That's what I've done. I hope you've been inspired by the top 100 things that I own. And like I said, if you like this video, give it a like, and I'll see you in the next one.